Hey guys, welcome back to Office Hours for this week. This is my first ever attempt at using the desktop function for Substack Live. So I'm using a different microphone, a different webcam today. It's great to have you here. I'm just going to be here for a few minutes as always. So if you have any questions about Substack, about writing, about solopreneurship, anything like that at all, feel free to pop it into the chat. I've titled this today "Ask Me Anything" because I want to see uh, if you have any questions for me personally about stuff that I'm working on, about just stuff about me, maybe that you want to know, you want to find out. You maybe seen me on Substack for a while, and you want to know who this David McElroy guy actually is. So, feel free to pop them into the chat if you want to while we're here. Um, yeah, and I'll just be here for a few minutes. I'm just going to kind of hang out while I'm waiting for any questions maybe to pop up about Substack, about writing, about solopreneurship, about me specifically. If you want to ask those kind of things as well, let me just quickly tell you about this very exciting thing. So this is my next book, Humbug, which is coming out. Um, in the next week or so, I hope, because it hasn't actually populated yet online. So there's a slight worry that it's not going to appear ahead of the actual release date, which is supposed to be the 15th of December. But this is the first ever physical copy of my next horror novel. It's really really exciting to get it. You can see how thick it actually is there. And there's the blurb as well. So Humbug comes out within the next week, and be available to buy as an ebook and as a physical book like this as well. It's the first time actually that a book that I've published myself has come and actually pretty much been perfect when it arrived. Usually, whenever I've self-published books before, there's always been some sort of issue with the way they've been printed or with the layout or something like that. So it's really cool to see it actually arrive pretty much exactly as I wanted it to be. So please, whenever this is available to buy, please buy your copy of Humbug and support it if you can, if you like. Spooky, scary, Christmas themed horror novels. I think you'll enjoy this one. I really loved writing this book. It's been really, really good fun. And hope you like it as well. Vicky, thanks very much for saying congratulations. I appreciate that. Karina, love that I'm repping the Toronto Blue Jays, as always. It's one of my favorite caps, actually. I got a lot of different baseball caps, but this is one of my absolute faves. Yeah, tell me where you're from, guys. If you're joining me here today, if you just popped into the chat, tell me what country you're from. Just feel free to pop it into the comments so I can see where you're joining me from. Again, if you have any questions, this is an Ask Me Anything session. So as long as it's nothing too racy, feel free to pop any question at all into the chat, and I will answer it. Vicky's from Northern California. Natasha, thanks very much for saying congratulations as well. Vicky, tell me how what do you write about in Substack? Answer that question if you want to. What's your publication about? If you've got one, or if you're going to start a publication, what's it going to be focused on? Uh, while you answer that, Vicky, Harry O says, getting ready to do my first post from NYC. That's awesome, Harry. What's it going to be about? Do you want to pop that into the chat as well and tell me? Larry is from Anaheim in California. Great to see you, Larry. Karina is a global citizen currently living in Toronto. Great place. I literally just wrote a scene in a book today, and my next book that is set in Toronto. Well, the scene is set in Toronto anyway, so that's quite cool. Dr. Martina is from Alberta in Canada, and that is where my next book is set that I'm writing right now. It's very much set in Alberta. Natasha is from Rockville. That's great. And Tasha, I'm looking forward to doing a live with you. I think tomorrow. All being well, so I'm looking forward to that. That should be good fun. Harry, you're going to be writing about genomic medicine and healthy aging. Hope I've said that right. But that's very interesting. I think anyone should definitely check that out because that's going to apply to everybody. Yeah. So again, any questions about um, anything you want to ask in the chat? This is just very much a ask me anything kind of chat today because I'm really just mostly testing Substack's new desktop function, which is pretty cool. Martina writes about spiritual disciplines and how using them changes our lives. That's awesome. Mike Medley is joining us from Richfield. Mike, great to see you. Vicky, you've said One Substack is focused on teaching women how to have unshakable confidence. The other is chronicling how I'm navigating my own midlife as a drummer and writer. That's pretty cool. And that sounds like something I'd want to read actually. So yeah, very awesome, Vicky. That's really cool. Um, who is your favorite band, Vicky, that you like drumming to? So you know, pop that into the chat as well. It's turning a bit of a chat between me and Vicky today, which is great. So pop that in, Vicky, if you want to. Who's your favorite band you like drumming to? Um, Harry, your first post is going to be about autism. Very interesting. I'm sure that'll be a very interesting read for everyone. Natasha, yes, we're going to be speaking tomorrow, which I'm excited about. Uh, yeah, that'll be really good fun. Looking forward to that conversation. Again, anyone who is joining us here, Natasha Tynes and I are going to be speaking tomorrow on a Substack live. I think at 2 p.m. Excuse me, UK time. So feel free to pop in then and join in that chat as well. Um, Again, folks, if you have any questions for me specifically for myself about me, about Substack, about anything at all that you want to ask, you think I might be able to answer, feel free to pop that into the chat now while I'm here. Vicky loves to drum to the Foo Fighters. I don't pronounce that. Is it Cheval? Tool. Not that good, but gives me something to aspire to. Awesome. Um, awesome. I love Foo Fighters as well. Karina uh, has said, my Substack is Tilt the Future. Major focus is digital age parenting, how to parent in an age when the future of work changes all the game plans. That's amazing. I love that. So applicable right now as well, I think. Um, yeah, amazing. Karina, how do you feel about Australia banning social media for younger people? That's a big thing. I think it's just come into effect. I think under 16-year-olds can't use it anymore. So, in terms of digital age parenting, how do you feel about that? And anybody else who has any opinions on that, feel free to weigh in as well. Vicky, you've said my question is how long ago did you decide to go all in on Substack? Well, I started on Substack in 2023 in summer, and then I think by the end of 2023, so December, was when I decided that Substack was going to be my main platform for writing on. I was kind of phasing out social media in terms of things like Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, which I'm still on, but Substack very much became my central focal point. So I would never say that I've gone all in on a platform because I may use other platforms. I can still use YouTube quite a lot as well, but Substack has definitely been my core focus. Excuse me, my voice is going yet again on another one of these lives. So my core focus is the end of 2023. Sure, y'all wanted to hear that. Um, but yeah, has anyone else gone all in on Substack? By the way, again, feel free to answer that if you've set aside other platforms that you've been on and just gone all in on Substack and loved it as a platform, and this is really where you're doing all your main stuff. Tell me in the chat, is that something you've done? Have you gone all in on Substack? Brandon said, "Are you on any other writing platforms right now?" I am on Medium. I don't use it actively, but I do have a presence on Medium. That's kind of the only entirely writing based platform that I'm on. I'm pretty much on all social media in some capacity. I don't really use all of it very much. The ones I use most are Substack, YouTube, um, TikTok for promoting my books, and I'm on Blue Sky as well, and I'm on Twitter and things like that. But don't use them overly much. Substack really the main thing, I guess. Um, Okay, so Karina, going back to the Australian social media ban for younger people, you said um, you love it, the screen ban, and it gives us a heads up for what we do about AI use in the classroom. One of your recent posts was titled, "Do we need driver's ed for AI?" I love that. We would not give our 13-year-olds the keys to a £40,000 slash $40,000 car without driver's ed. Great point. That's a great point. Yeah, I do think regulations would be good, wouldn't they, in terms of AI? Again, anyone weigh in on this if you want to, but um, how do you feel about regulations for AI for helping people learn how to use it in a safe way? Is that something that we should introduce in general across the board for artificial intelligence? Do you have young people in your house who use uh, ChatGPT or whatever quite a lot? Is it fairly new to them? How has it affected the way they do schoolwork, or they revise, or they prepare for exams? That sort of stuff. Feel free to let me know. This is fun. I'm enjoying this conversation, guys. This is great. Uh, Kyra says, "Do you find other social media platforms helpful for promoting Substack?" The short answer is not especially, because I don't really do it an awful lot. I post things sometimes onto Blue Sky or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, but generally all my promotion kind of happens within Substack. But I would say if you have a bigger presence on another platform, then for sure share your share your thoughts onto it. Share your posts on there, because if you have a presence, then definitely use it. If you can. Um, Karina and Kyra are pretty much all in on Substack. Karina also lightly uses Instagram and LinkedIn. Um, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as well, actually. Yes, that's something else that I've sort of used in the past a bit. But I think once you've come on to Substack and you've been part of the community here, it definitely is hard to go back to other platforms in a meaningful way. I think Substack's definitely just something different about it. It's definitely a more enjoyable platform to be on, I find. Um, a user called Spanish Makes Sense says, "At first I was posting on Instagram and Facebook, but I soon stopped. The steady progressive growth I've had on Substack has been amazing. That's why I'm totally dedicated to Substack now." Yeah, I agree. Once I started seeing real growth on Substack, I just kind of wanted to be here, and I just really enjoyed the community feel about it. Yeah, it's a really good platform, I think, for growth, especially in terms of email, which I don't think any other platform really offers in a meaningful way in terms of growing your email list. Everything's more about gaining followers, and followers are great, but they're not really gonna be people you can reach on the other side of an algorithm comfortably. Uh, Dr. Martinez said, "I've been using ChatGPT for near a year now. It is helping me keep up with the volume of writing. I'm trying to keep up." Yeah, I agree. ChatGPT and Claude and whatever else you want to use, they're definitely really, really good tools. I use them as tools as well to kind of help me stay organized and do things like that. Um, I think the more I use it, the more I definitely lean more towards um, not using it as much for writing, or just finding it's just still not there. I know people might say there's ways you can make it better and you can make it right in your voice and things like that, and I understand that, but I still think that when it comes down to writing, um, your final output is still going to be better than anything that AI can produce. I find anyway. Like, I just something about it I'm not totally comfortable with at this point, but it's still a work in progress, still a bit of an experiment, and I'll keep experimenting with it and seeing how it goes. But yeah, it's interesting. Uh, Brandon says, "I'm still a medium too, but I'm close to quitting it. I have an account on Vocal, but haven't done much with it." I was on Vocal as well for a while, didn't really use it either, and I haven't paid for Medium quite a long time in terms of the partner program, so I don't earn anything from it. I've got like $10 sitting in an account that I can't actually get out of it because it's too like low an amount or something like that. But yeah, so Medium's good. Medium served a purpose for me. I know a lot of other writers still really love it, and that's great. If it works for you, then fantastic. I just For me right now, Substack feels like the best possible option out there when it comes to writing. Karina, you've said, I know everyone can see these comments, by the way, I'm just reading them out in case you can't see them right now. You're just listening to this. Karina, you said, "I just completed a great AI for creatives course hosted by Harry Pickens, which focused on the ethical boundaries and guardrails using AI. Um, I do not outsource my ethics to AI was a great takeaway from that course." Kim Dakins wrote a great recap post, brilliant, and you can find the link there down below. Yeah, no, great. I think it's going to be a big question over the next few years, isn't it, about the ethics and the boundaries around AI, like what's too far with it, like how much information is too much to give it, what's it going to do with that information. I'm very dubious about big tech companies and how they're using what we put out there. Um, I'm very dubious about what they say they're doing and what they're actually doing. But again, that's maybe just my opinion. I don't know what anybody else thinks about that. How do you feel about AI? This conversation just going everywhere today, isn't it? How do you feel about AI? Do you feel comfortable with it? Is it something you feel a bit worried about in future going forward in terms of what it can do, or are you excited about the prospect of using it? Is it something that you want to use more of and learn more about? Again, let me know in the chat. Um, Dr. Martinez said, "Yes, I need to carefully read what it comes up with." Yeah, I agree. I think whatever AI does produce in terms of writing, it's definitely a good idea to check through it very, very carefully before you post it anywhere, because it can be very, very good, but it can also be very cliched, I think. It can write stuff that's very just isn't great to read a lot of the time. I find, and does sound like a robot wrote it a lot of the time. Even if you do train it in your voice, it still slips back into it. So, um, Karina, no worries. Great to have you here. You're leaving now. That's fine. Um, and yeah, I find the desktop live is really good. And yeah, I'm using it right now for the first time. The only disappointing thing about it, I guess, is that it's still doing this visible area on mobile thing. So everything outside of, I guess, this area here is not going to be visible to anybody. I can see the full screen, but I don't think everybody else can see that. So I wonder will Substack eventually do a full landscape width version of this, which I think would be great for things like webinars and stuff. I wonder if Substack's going to kind of go that direction, and it'd be really cool to be able to host webinars and things like that directly within the platform in future. But this is a step, I guess, because this is definitely more comfortable. I think using my actual camera, my actual mic to record these lives. So that's awesome. Um, okay, one more quick plug before I go for my book. Just to tell you about it in case you missed it at the start. This is Humbug. This is coming out in the next week or so. This is my next horror novel. If you like Christmas themed, scary, monster, gory, slasher kind of stuff. If that is your jam, like it's my jam, then definitely check this out whenever it comes out. I'll post about it a lot, obviously, on Substack. But it's a really fun read. I think if you like that kind of stuff, you'll really enjoy it. Dr. Martinez said, "I think you're right. I decided that the help I received is worth taking the risk. A professor friend said that it's important that writers with Christian content need to get their work out there." Yeah, I agree, definitely. Brandon, are you still holding out hope for the Chiefs this season? Good question, Brandon. Not really, no. I think after the last result, I think the season's pretty much over, unfortunately, for the Chiefs, or feels like it is anyway, which is pretty sad because we normally get to the playoffs. Maybe we still will. I'm not really exactly sure if we're mathematically out of it just yet, but it's been a pretty terrible season, unfortunately. After off the back of actually getting to the Super Bowl last year, and everything else that happened. Before that, it's been pretty poor. So for the Chiefs, it's looking pretty bad. For Liverpool, the other team I support, it's looking also pretty bad, but it might get better. But we'll see what happens. Vicky looks forward to reading my book. Thanks, Vicky. Really appreciate that. And yeah, appreciate this time with you guys. It's just nice to have this little catch up with you. I'll share this on the YouTube afterwards, as I always do, so you can check it out there. Make sure to read the post that I put out yesterday on Substack if you haven't got to already. And I have another one coming out tomorrow for paid subscribers, which is kind of the second half of that first one. Vicky, you're a Broncos fan. You understand the disappointment. Appreciate that. But yes, so great to have this time with you guys. I'll be here again next week as always. I'm going to try and do this every single week if I can. So yeah, if you enjoy these office hour sessions, please let me know. Even go on to like YouTube and leave a comment on one of the recordings and tell me that you thought it was useful and tell me what you thought was useful about it. That would be really cool as well. Doug Martinez said I just finished another book / basis for a weekend workshop I'll offer next year. That's great. I'm going to do more of those kind of things next year too. But thanks for being here, guys. It's really cool to test out the desktop live function with you. I think it looks really cool, works really well. I look forward to connecting with you again really, really soon. I'll see you soon.